Peps very popular with the French community. Amongst hero shooters, the French community very active, and Team Peps has one of the essential avatars of Francais in Team Pepe as their CEO, kind of a namesake for the team. And I'm really excited to see what Leaf and Hardest have been cooking up. They are a fantastic DPS duo. Unsurprising to see the group band here. And Hardest, well, this is practically guaranteeing that it is going to be a bit of a Bucky angle.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what you'd expect from watching how Team Peps played. On the side of all business, though, taking away the Groot and the Loki, but keeping the Magneto. I'm curious to see what they pull out, especially, again, when they should have so much footage of what Team Peps likes to do. Though we know at EMEA, the scrim culture is very tight-knit, except unless you're Virtus Pro. But...
in which case you are not part of it.
You are not part of the bubble whatsoever.
Yeah, why give everyone insight into how you play when you can just sequester yourself onto a, private island with all your VP money with 100 thieves, They're just chilling there with the VP CEO and Nature, like, yeah, we're just going to screw each other until the end of time, until someone can really assail our thrones. Teemo, of course, target banned here by the group ban. Teemo is a fantastic group player, and Natlox is really strong on the Loki as well. So this ban phase makes sense generally for me. I don't have any complaints thus far.
No, and when you look on the opposite side of what all business are going to be picking up, looks like we might get to see some more Storm action, more Namor duels coming through, but the big difference really going to be in that front line. I'm always a bit of a bigger fan of Magneto plus the Thing rather than Magneto Doctor Strange. Again, I feel like the Thing can just go and get so much pressure in that back line. But the question will be if they can even touch Tozy on that Storm.
Well, we saw just how, for want of a better word, touchable the Storm is on this particular map last time around. As Supremacy certainly had some issues here with the access that the Psylocke got towards that Storm. And I'm interested to see how much Leaf can do to try and shut this one down. I'm actually surprised to see Leaf playing the Bucky instead of Hardest, who's usually the Winter Soldier player.
Looks like just wanting to change it up. I'm excited to see if Hardest can find any angles. But right now we're watching Slopo. You know what to look for it?
I think Slopo may have been a little bit surprised by Hardest having a very wide off angle right there. It's going to be a bulwark over onto a Blaster Barrage. Standard play. Leaf actually goes super low off the back of that. Great accuracy coming through from the Magneto, making it an easy follow-up for the Blaster Barrage. Tuzi, nice tracking as well. You can just tear through Vanguard so fast as a unattended Star-Lord.
Yeah, you love to see it, right? Started out on the Storm, swapped up over to the Star-Lord. Seems like it's getting a lot more value. Great snipe from Slopo there at the end with the Namor. And I was going to be playing so far forward, just trying to prevent any leeway from Team Peps. They are going to be able to secure that first point. And now we're going to see what Team Peps can do. No ultimates online just yet, but we're getting close.
Yeah, just making some big team rotations here to try and make sure they're not exploited in more diveable positions by Toot over on this Venom. Going out with the Galactic Legend, already looking over onto Natlox. What a pick, super early, switches down as well. Great target focus coming through. And while Tuzi is going to pay for such audacity, the damage has already been done.
Yeah, and that ultimate coming up right as that started. Great to see, too, because as Team Peps, you just got wiped twice in a row. This has been all business pushing this point so far. And now some awkward chokes to potentially have to funnel through. Do have invisible boundary, but we'll see how they want to get this one started.
These aren't particularly contentious fights thus far as well. They've been very one-sided in favor of all business. Toot hanging up at the top at the moment. Very low. Metallic Bulwark already has to be used. Welsh Mania takes to the skies. Really wants the Invisible Woman. Finds the Invisible Woman. And now Tuzi can just blast the barrage to their heart's content. It's going to be a last-second attempt at a play off the back of the Fate of Both Worlds. And this is giving Hardest enough space to try and work with here as well. He's able to really control the off angle. But nice play off the back of Metallic Bulwark there from Welsh Mania, keeping their Lunar Snow safe in the midst of all of the ultimates and in the face of danger. Welsh Mania and Toot both going super low off the back of the clobbering time. They should be finished off here off the back of Leaf, coming through with the Kraken impact. No Blessing of the Deep available for Slopo. And yeah, goodbye Venom, surely. Oh, nasty flick on that Bionic Hook, and they're going even deeper now. 3 players afflicted with the culling. Any one of them going down would be enough to try and keep this one going, but it's a solid disengage.
I mean, the tried and true Marvel rival strat of buy enough time for crack and impact and profit. We saw Team Peps there utilizing it well because it looked like everything was going wrong.
It's an old strat, sir, but it checks out. The anti-street charge to try and get away. Legendary coming through in good time here. Tuzi. Oh, pulled out of the air. Where'd your soul go? Natlox is putting it in his little box.
Yeah, Natlock's great there with the grab. Still a little bit over-ambitious in my mind from Tuzi to be looking for that play. Now, you have good positioning as Team Peps to try to deny the walk-up.
Yeah, it really is going to be a heavily taxed walk up here. 2-2 heading in towards the back. We'll be able to get a lot of damage off the back of this Feast of the Abyss. Nicely shut down there by the Guardian Shield of the Invisible Woman. Fate of Both Worlds coming out from both sides. Hard is going to get a quick damage boost off the back of this, but it's actually Slowpo who gets more off the back of the Horn of Proteus. Once again, I'm seeing a team upset from a position of power. This feels like Flash of Cycle all over again.
Yeah, it really does. And again, it's just so strange because it just really coming off like little individualistic oversteps. Great ult coming out there from Toot Toot to set up for the Horn of Proteus. We're actually going to get aggression coming out right away. Sha looking for a bit of a hint, but All Business not going to give him the angle.
Yeah, was throwing out some damage, but now the Shoe's on the other foot. Shoe gets hit by the squids from behind. Can't really deal with any of those up on the board. Just doesn't have the range for it. Toot Toot dragged in. Is going to move a Metallic Bulwark for a little bit of additional staying power. A clobbering time here could be absolutely ruinous to try and deal with. Tuzi unable to avoid that one. Clobbering time. It will stun Welsh Mania, and the follow-up is very forthcoming.
Still, though, they're right next to their spawn. A lot of room to work with here for All Business. Getting close star now on the rocket to just keep throwing out that healing. You do have Kraken Impact and Invisible Boundary up for Peps, though. Gonna be a hard battle to break in. Tuzi has had some really impactful Galactic Legends so far. So ball could be in his court here.
2 angles of healing. Very good to stop yourself from getting locked away from anyone. Leap deciding potentially to disengage. No, sees the invisible boundary come up and decides to try and stick to it closer. Getting a little bit close for comfort, honestly. If it were down to me, that's going to be Slowpo identified. Hardest is getting so much done with the squids. Wow, the Monstro spawn angles are wild.
They are crazy. Having a lot of good positions for those, and it's just nice to see the changeup, right? Hardest, like we said, we expected him on the Winter Soldier, but having a great Namor now that they have this choke to play around.
All right, early play here. Should be closer, going down early. Stunned in place. Tuzi gets given that Metallic Bulwark, and even just try and shut down any counterplay onto that Stolov. They invest the Meteor to eat up any projectiles heading their way. Yeah, the Blaster Barrage is taken down here, but I think the damage has already been done with Switch falling so low. Natlock's taken down by the Metallic Greatsword of Magneto, and this cart's rolling.
I mean, the Welsh are going crazy today because Welsh Mania popping off, right? The Metallic Bulwark, like you said, to start that off onto Tuzi, and then just pushing the point and not giving Team Peps any breathing room.
She's going to be challenged up here for a little bit. It's easy ult farm for Toot Toot going up against a thing. Just want to be careful not to be caught by that Yancey Street charge. You can shut off your symbolic swing to try and get away if you find yourself in a nasty position. But that constant moving between verticalities is a real advantage that you can have off the back of that Venom. Oh, the AoE damage here is actually overwhelming. Natlock's Leaf and Switch all falling by the wayside. Teemo's not going to last for much longer either. What great coordination between Tuzi and Toot Toot.
Yeah, the name synergy, the gameplay synergy, and now it looks like, okay, Spider-Man touches the point.
Not for long. It's going to be an attempt from Natlox to make something happen with the invisible boundary. It simply cannot reach there in time. What a great focus fire coming through. And wow, All Business. Okay, once again, I'm going to be forced to notice a brand new team.
Right, another team that we see that was at the MRI being taken down by one of these rising up-and-comers. Still, though, Team Peps are going to get their chance to push the convoy of their own. Who knows? Maybe we could push to an overtime and see a bit of a fight here. Leaf, though, still going to be the one sticking to the Winter Soldier, and I really like Tuzi on this Star-Lord. Of course, for the side of All Business, I feel like you really got no reason to change too much up.
And there's still that Adam Warlock in the back pocket as well, if you want to try and play a little bit more aggressively with Tuzi and get that Cocoon revival as well. Seems like for now, though, all business are very happy with what they've got. Playing Tuzi more as like a raw diver rather than an overly aggressive off-angler with that Karmic Revival has allowed them to really follow up on Toot Toot. Using those diving strikes alongside the bubbled blaster barrages have really stressed Team Peps' healers.
Yeah, I mean, and you could see that, right? They were constantly under threat, constantly being separated from their vanguards. But now, at least, Peps going to get a chance of their own to try to take this. Really going to be looking at hardest to start it to show up, you know, in the middle of that last point. Really having some great headshots.
Oh, now we're just going to give over that Metallic Fusion to Teemo for some extra ult charge right at the beginning before swapping over once again. That's a lot of damage, but Ultimate is able to deal with it fairly easily. I think a well-placed grab here, and the Trooper's Fist as well. So much going in towards the Venom of Toot Toot. But you know what? All business, they just meet aggression with aggression, and they roll forward to support their Venom.
And once again, we see Welshmania able to find the last hit on the Magneto. But like you said, the whole team there behind him, I think really regret going for that pull from Lee. And now we see all business just keeping them next to the doors.
Some nasty tracking at range. Can be everything. Like, Star-Lord is just so powerful when it comes to raw damage. Element guns, Hardest found out the hard way, fragged by Tuzi.
And I feel like this is one of the reasons why we've seen Star-Lord rise in the ranks so much over the past month. If you've been watching competition, again, I feel like we used to see a lot more of things like the Storm. But lately, it's just been Star-Lord everywhere. Star-Lord, Winter Soldier really is a dynamic duo of DPS.
Toot Toot cooking again. Could be an attempt to try and hook him in. Nice Trooper's Fist. Toot Toot doesn't even have time to use their resilience, and so cannot stay for long, but still, they'll be back rather fast. For now, all business, they're just going to be playing business as usual in a 5 versus 6. So far away, though, from that BRB means no resurrection coming through. All business just disengaged. Slowpoke actually went the wrong way, which is unideal. They're going to take a lot longer to get back. A Meteor M to try and save themselves. It's greedy from Welshmania, but it does give time for the resurrection onto Slowpoke. Tuzi now with the Cosmic Yarn amplified. Does so much damage with the element guns. Forces out the incoming usage of the Fate of Both Worlds to heal everybody up. But guess what? Once that's finished, Tuzi's going to be able to pop off. Slowpoke heads around the back. A nice split, a well-placed right click could be everything. And the Galactic Legend up in the air means good focus on to switch. Slowpoke just gets frag after frag. Welcome back to the world by the BRB. Bro used his break well, refreshed, rejuvenated, and respiring in his lane.
And if Team Peps can't make that work, what can they make work? Because that all started off with a pick onto Toot Toot for free, and they were just able to keep running them down. I believe Leaf got 2 kills, and then all business somehow able to turn it around. I think great Luna ult from Zonrin, great, like we just saw, great headshots from Slopo once again, but it really does feel like this map so far has been Tuzi's story.
Yeah, this has just been the Tuzi tale, honestly. Slowpoke sends out the Monstro Spawn. The right click is good. The frag is better. And that forced out the Blessing of the Deep there from Hardest as well. He's going to be super vulnerable after this. Shu wants to try and put some pressure onto the Vanguards. Yeah, but you can't really catch up to Tuzi when he can simply fly away from you. The thing's not the ideal answer for that, but dealing with Slowpoke's a little bit easier. Should be resurrected. And Pet Leaf is finally returning with the Kraken Impact. We've said it so many times, but so often in esports, it's just waiting for the Kraken Impact and making something work off the back of that. Caught at the end of a stellar shift, a well-timed play. Slowpoke around the back. Oh, and one leaps in the air. Oh, the Monstro Spawn grab him out. Tuzi avoids the incoming use of Giganto by just ascending to the skies like some avenging Icarus angel. And Team Peps are down to only 30 seconds.
Exactly, really building up the Tuzi stales. Galactic Legend comes out, able to dodge on that Meteor M, finds the positioning, and for Team Peps, the fight just keeps getting split. We have less than 15 seconds left for Team Peps to look for it. Portal comes through.
Toot Toot has so many. Invacellular corrosion almost gets knocked over into the enemy portal here. Ahsoka wraps around the edge. It's all three of the spores. The damage is so much. The right click is overwhelming. Up into the Blessing of the Deep just to try and extend their life for a second longer. Teemo needs to get some real value here out of a big dark maelstrom. But Slowpoke's still surviving. And Tuzi's wrapping around the edges, working the margins, finding the entries. Clobbering time comes on through. 2-2 gets hardest. A big source of damage is now missing. A switch is taken out in the back. 2-2's getting so much value out of this Venom. It's so difficult to deal with anything. Yeah, Zan is going to fall down to a Dark Maelstrom, but they've done their job. You can rest, my son. All business. Stand on business.
And where has this team been so dominantly shutting down Team Peps in this first map? Again, there's so many people you talk about, right? Tuzi. We had good performance from Slopo. Like, really, this just felt like they outclassed Team Peps roll for roll.
Yeah, it's rare that I see Team Peps kind of flummox like this. Obviously, this series is far from over, but all business. Color me impressed. Let's have a quick look at the Tuzi stat line. 40 and 5, 26k damage, 18 final hits. Slowpoke keeping up, by the way, over there on the Namor, but honestly, the raw healing coming out of Zanrin as well, only falling over twice as a Luna, who's fairly vulnerable to something like a Kraken Impact, or being hit by the hardest triple squid with the right click. Great survivability from Xamarin, but probably provided a lot of overall staying power to On Business.
Yeah, and again, I think he also had some great ultimates to save from the refights that were coming from Team Peps. And again, this is one of the exciting things about early Marvel Rivals, right? Is that we still don't know. Every team really can just go punch for punch with the other. And now it's going to be Team Peps being like, hey, you know, we lost to this team in a random qualifier like a month ago. Are we going to lose here again today? Are the mental doubts going to be slipping in like day?
And you know what? It's very dangerous to be in this position as well, because that lower bracket is far from an easy road. Supremacy's down there. Luminosity is down there on this side of the bracket. Team Peps is one of a few like top tier teams we had coming into this, like from an MRI standing on the upper half of the EMEA bracket. We thought the lower half was a lot more stacked with teams like Virtus Pro and OG down there as well. So it's very dangerous if Team Peps get taken down by All Business sitting on match point.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be what we have to see if they're able to do. Luckily, the highlights are ready. Again, if you want to see highlights of All Business, just absolutely taking care of business, here you go.
It's all business here at Marvel Rivals Championship at EMEA, and Team Peps are having a bit of a struggle, surprisingly, Lyric.
Yeah, and again, we kind of expected people like Artist, people like Leaf to come out, put up great performances, and again, they were one of the teams at the MRI, but it was All Business really showing up. Great push by them. It looked so dominant for their first half, and then, I mean, not even allowing push to Peps to get any push on their own cargo. So overall, I was really impressed with All Business. It's even hard to name a standout when so many of them just seemed better than their counterparts in that match.
Yeah, it's been a very surprisingly adept performance from All Business. Like, I know that some of these players seem to have their reputations in other competitive hero shooters, but we've had a couple of open tournaments now. This is going to be the third open tournament, because we had one in the closed beta, We had our season 0-1. We're now in season
Yep.
1, where you could have joined them so long as you got to gold. And I hadn't seen any of these players, as far as I could remember, play before or reach the upper echelons of competitive Marvel Rivals. But now they are really ready to make their mark. And if you can take down Team Peps, especially if you can do it 2-0, then you are very much on your way to a top 8, top 6 finish.
Yeah, and again, right, then you're wondering, like, hey, how do they stack up against teams like LG, who, again, fell down to the lower bracket, against OGs, the Fanatics, all these teams kind of vying for that top of the mountain. But we are going to Royal Palace, Domination, and already seeing some bans come out. You already talked about Teemo not going to be allowed to be on the Groot.
Okay. A protect on the Rocket Raccoon here is interesting. I wonder if Team Peps will be happy to match this. I think we've seen a fair amount of Natlocks play the Rocket Raccoon before, if I remember correctly. And there it is. There's the ban on the name of it. Like, you know what? We're just going to let Hardest play Bucky, and we're going to see if we can get Leaf on the Wolverine, potentially?
Oh, Leaf actually being... Yeah.
Oh, they're going for the res comp. Maybe?
Yeah. It looks like even they're still
That could be a little bit
undecided of
franked.
how to go against All Business. All Business, though, looking to round out with things like the Magneto and the Thing. Of course, Invisible Woman and Luna there, too. I'll be interested to see if Tuzi sticks to the Storm this time around. You know, had it pulled up at the start last time. Only, I assume, did that for the damage amplification, but ended up switching over to the Star-Lord, where he was a standout.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see Tuesday not be investing in that again. But obviously, Teemo being permanently blocked off the Groot is somewhat mandatory against Team Peps. Although Team Peps are in this position where usually they like to leverage the Wolverine via Leaf. It's one of his best heroes. And I'd be kind of surprised to not see Leaf try and do it here. When you see like so much value coming from 2-2 on the Venom in particular. Like, Venom being in this very dangerous position means that having a way to shut him down with a Feral Leap could be highly valuable to Team Peps, but it seems like instead they're going to have the additional staying power of a third strategist, with Leaf just coming out with the ability to damage boost Hardest. This is going to make... This is a lot of resources into having it at Star-Lord div.
And they decide to stick with the Guardians comp. Going to have all those reses for All Business to deal with. And now it's going to be up to Tuzi on the side lock and Toot on the Venom double dive to try to actually make these deaths stick.
All right, big grab onto Teemo. No way to try and extricate themselves from that situation, especially after a Trooper's Fist as well. Oh, Tuzi finds himself in a less than ideal place. That Stellar Barrage coming through from Natlocks was ready to go, and Tuzi simply rubbed his cheek up against the staff and said, you know what, I'll take it all. Big claps coming through from the Ice Arts. Good cleave as well. Tuzi got resurrected and instantly falls down again. Already 0-2. You hate to see it for all of you stat farmers out there. There's going to be a last chance to try and keep this one contested for Welsh Mania. Even with an early pick onto Teemo, well, Peps are here to play.
Yeah, Team Peps really running them down. Again, I love the change up to this composition. Tons of damage coming out from people like Warlock and Mantis. And now we're going to see Tuzi go back to the Star-Lord. Why did you change in the first place, bro? Your Star-Lord was great. And now to hope that could be what gets them on the point. Look, they're actually just following suit.
All right, Galactic Legend popped here by Hardest. Will force out the fate of both roles in response. Natlocks just doing their best with the Soul Resurgence at their back to try and make this one happen. All of the headshots onto Tuzi. I believe there was a blocking off of the healing coming through there as well from Shu. Good heads up play to try and make sure that fate of both worlds could not rescue the potential hyper carry.
Yeah, and we see Team Peps just looking a bit more proficient on this comp. All Business swapping over to try to match all those annoying reses. Now going to be able to try to funnel once again a lot of ults online. Zonran's the only one used in the last play for All Business. You have a couple to answer on Team Peps, but a lot's going to be how much damage they can pepper on the walk-up.
Feels like Tutu's eating a lot of damage here on the Thing. Does have a clobbering time ready to go, though. That could be disastrous to try and deal with. Metallic Bulwark onto Hardest. It's not going to be able to avoid a little bit too early on the Stellar Shift there, so still gets stunned by the clobbering time, but the healing's delivered here directly from Switch. Oh, nice shield directed there. Just keep Welsh Mania from getting too much at the back of the Meteor Ram. Hardest too far afield, though. Welsh Mania is so accurate when it comes to a Magneto, and he really is potentially going to be a standout here. Natlocks isolated. Tracking's good from Tuzi, and there's finally going to be a swap over here from All Business.
Yeah, crazy to think that it's the Magneto, the one that finds the wraparound is Closar, going to be able to finish off the other one.
The sedation frag is a very rare one. I think it does like 5 damage.
Absolutely deserved performance by Glowstar. Again, this all business team is very interesting. Again, kind of coming out, like you said, some experience in other hero shooters, but doing a great job is Galactic Legend from Hardest.
All right, Soulbond should be coming up real soon. The Blaster Barrage as well. Look at all that damage being done. Natlog's in the sights of Tuesday. Should be able to get a quick resurrection onto themselves there via the Karmic Revival. Big play off the Eye of Agamotto. 3 players stunned. Tuesday and Closar followed up upon. Tuesday just about surviving until Teemo manages to find the business end of the end of that one. All business, though. They're still relying on Closar to get something done. A quick click here and there. Galactic Legend dropped by Tuesday. It's brave to try and make it happen. Instant raises here from Natlog brings Hardest back into the fray, and with 3 strategists you can rely on the remainder of the healing to be levied against those that you res up. Hardest can't be brought back yet another time though, unless they do it to themselves. The Karmic Revival now to keep Hardest in the fight. Still all business, holding strong on the point. Blaster Barrage outdone by Tuesday.
Huge coming out from all business. That fight went on for so long. I mean, so many layers when you have Mantis, Adam Warlock, and Star-Lord. But it was just nice repositioning, especially from Welsh Mania, to make sure that Team Peps can't find any agency. And look, 80% working their way up. This is going to be incredibly contested.
2-2 with a clobbering time. If they stack up closely, it could be brutal. Already, though, lots of damage coming. The clobbering time comes on through. I think it seems to have been avoided by everybody here. Might well have been a well-placed Magneto shield to try and block it on out. Natlog's under siege, yes, but just dives into that Fate of Both Worlds and instantly gets healed up to full. Teemo doing their best to throw out the damage. They really want to get rid of Closar and manage to find their man here. That's going to be the Galactic Legend, though. Switch goes down first. Next up, you want the Mantis. And after that, Natlog is going to be next up. Juicy just gets it done. Final hit after final hit. Finding exactly the right moment to make their play.
Yeah, great patience on the Intergalactic Legend. Really nice coming out from Tuesday. Again, my only qualm with all business in that game is why are we not starting on the Star-Lord? God, Tuesday putting up a crazy performance.
Whew. Man, Tuesday, don't get off a Star-Lord. I think until you start losing on the Star-Lord, let's stick with it. Hey, bud? I think that it's in everyone's best interest that you continue impressing me.
Get ready.
Look, leg day was going on some, speed dates earlier on broadcast when I was cutting out. Tuesday, you don't need those. You've already found your one and only.
The soulmate.
Exactly,
A monogamous relationship with Star-Lord,
Yeah. Oh, God. I wonder if we are going to see any swaps come through, but no, it looks like both teams are just going to stay with the res comp.
Happy to have that additional staying power. Leaf really trying to leverage that top tier aim to get some real value. The only real difference between these teams is, of course, the Doctor Strange versus the Thing. And 2-2 almost ready to go with their own clobbering. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage already coming through onto Switch. Luckily, there's some good discipline there to avoid it. The Eye of Agamotto could be forthcoming rather quickly here. Question is how aggressive do you want to get off the back of it. Saw Resurgence already come on out. And I'm looking for that Doctor Strange to try and find something off the back of this. For now, disengaging though. 2-2's going to have an option to try and strike first with the clobbering time. If only the enemy team clump up and get themselves in a nasty situation. Eye of Agamotto, I think it's only grabbed Zamarin so far, but for Soul Bond means that the damage is spread on out and it's not too dangerous to deal with. An exchange of these Vanguards, both of them are going to be rezzed in fact as well, as Leaf manages to keep Tuesday away from these nasty little areas. There's a Meteor Ram that I think did a reasonable amount of damage, but for now both teams just doing some accounting, counting up their members, figuring out where they can really get some value. Goodbye Tuesday. Oh, nice. Natlog gets it done with a hit scan off the primary fire.
Yeah, still going to be able to res though, and actually reses to be able to find more kills from himself. Galactic Legend comes out immediately onto Leaf. Can he do more?
We'll have to find hardest here, or Natlox. However, everyone inside that Fate of Both Worlds is basically inassailable by the Star-Lord, no matter how much damage is being levied. Soulbond brought up here by Team Peps, sharing out the damage, democratizing it. It's for everybody at this point. Shoes almost put themselves up to yet another Eye of Agamotto, falling low on the shield, though. Hardest doesn't want to go in too deep at the moment, just playing within range. Now gets the bubble. The magnetic bulwark keeps Hardest safe as they ascend to the heavens and rain down fire from above, and manages to find at least one. Closeout's able to resurrect themselves, remembering just why we find this comp so annoying. Tuzi easily burst on down through the Eye of Agamotto. Soul separated from body, and body separated from corporeal coils of mortality. Tutu's gonna... That's actually 1% gain now. First count.
I was gonna say, right? We're just catching the point right now. It just goes to show, again, how much healing, the revives, the durability that each side has elected to take so far. Now, if Team Peps can keep control, are looking to just waste a bit of time, hopefully pull out an ultimate from All Business before they get to the point.
Meteor M, ready to go if it is needed. Earthbound at the moment is Shu. Oh, nice. Coming through. Legendary there. Just going to be a lot of damage coming through from Tuzi. Hardest already has another one, by the way. You just build up ultimate so quickly as a Starlord when you get that damage boost, when you get a big blast of barrage onto like 6 people at the same time. That's going to be Hardest trying to grab anyone coming in. Oh, Shu couldn't raise the shield in time. And now Hardest is in deep trouble. Stellar Shift for a quick iframe. A resurrection coming through as well off the back of that Karmic Revival from the Adam Warlock. Hardest super low. He'll be back before you know it, though. 2 players stunned by the clobbering time, the blast, the barrage, just so much on top of them. Teammate might well fall through the cracks. Second chance is over, as Adam Warlock might say. Tuzi really wants Leaf up here, coming in with the quick melees, and guess who's there to help? Magneto with the great sword, and that's going to be a flip.
Welshmania with these snipes. Again, if there's one player I'm going to remember from their Magneto play today, it is him. Now, being able to get the point for themselves. A bit of a gap between Team Peps and them, but still, people like Shu having that Eye of Agamotto, a lot of ability to make an impact, especially without some of these other ults online for All Business.
2-2, escaping for the moment. Yassi Street charge away and then turns around to once again earthbound anyone who steps within that LOS. Magnetic Bulwark already used here as they try and keep Shu at bay. They want to try and make playing this Eye of Agamotto incredibly risky. Moving forward now with the Fate of Both Worlds, and hey, when everyone's getting basically unlimited healing, all you need to do is inspire everybody. Shu's already taken so much damage. Tuzi has so many of their bullets eaten up here by the Meteor M and sharing out the damage. Yeah, Hardest is going to be able to take them down, but Natlock's already been taken down themselves. Instantly respawns, uses the Blaster Barrage going up against Leaf, and whoa, Tuzi's aim is kind of crazy.
Yeah, tracking perfectly. Also want to give a shout out to Zonrine on the Luna, because when the Eye of Agamotto came up, he didn't get caught, was able to pull out the Fate of Both Worlds and make sure no one from Team Peps went down. Now All Business trying to irritate the side of Team Peps. We did just get the Galactic Legend coming online. Artist can try to make a play of his own, but still, All Business didn't have to utilize too much to win that last fight.
Trying to flip the map here. Oh, closer. Could have been in deep trouble there as Natlox has the damage boost. If you build up all 5 of those shots, you can quickly destroy someone. Hardest comes up, has so much of their damage. Eaton actually blows up the Meteor M as it reaches its maximum capacity before it can be levied here. Slowpoke on the off angle. Natlox under huge amounts of pressure and attempts to try and block off the healing onto that Adam Warlock. Welshmania might well be overwhelmed. Doesn't really have the resources to try and survive this one, but it seems like 3 strategists behind him is going to be all the resource he needs. Leave in some desperate trouble, takes to the skies. That was a very wild attempt at a sedation right there. The pocket coming through onto the Star-Lord is going to be brutal to try and deal with. A big blaster barrage just brings damage over to everybody. Clobbering time gets 2, both Hardest and Teemo caught in place. But the Soul Resurgence from Leaf has given them leafy green for now. An attempt to try and shut this down with the Eye of Agamotto, but guess who? CC immune during the anti-street charge. That's right, it's Toot Toot, baby, and slept in place. No longer immune, but guess what? Welshmania is there to try and keep you in a good place for now. Shu disengages, trying to play it slow, waiting for their team to have a resource to try and play with. Closest is going to be Teemo right now. Has the Meteor M ready to go, but Slowpoke's also ready to try and get a resurrection. In the midst of all of this, Tuzi's fallen off the map. What happened to my star? What happened to my guy? explodes. Slowpoke's are able to resurrect themselves. Maybe they can get everybody back. They're all exposed right here. A well-placed Blaster Barrage could change everything. But Clozar's here with a bunch of healing to try and play with. Soul Resurgence going to keep all and sundry ready to go. 2 players stunned, 3 players stunned by the clobbering time. A couple of clips are eaten, yes, by the Meteor M, but nothing's gained off the back of it here. Susie up in the sky once again thinks that he's the hero, but the Blaster Barrage is stronger than that. Element guns in the hands of Hardest get all that you need done. A quick sedation, yes. Team Peps need to stay on the point with all of their might as overtime is almost done. Overtime continues going as Shu managed to grab one off the back of that Eye of Agamotto, helped out by Hardest. Natlox has fallen down. Hardest falling low. Close up, got the aim. Exactly what's needed. Susie's almost already returned. Hardest raised himself on the back of that Karmic Revival. But striking so good. Susie's a menace, even though in the midst of the barrage, they managed to get taken down by the absolute zero. What is this guy's aim? Somebody get police on the line. I'm gonna need to see your report, mister. Susie is wild, and the Royal Palace is captured. All business, all the time, and all the way down to the lower bracket for Team Peps.
Absolutely crazy. Again, a team with not a whole lot of like stock in Marvel Rivals showing up, comes out, dominates Team Peps. And again, actually the thing I'm most surprised about is like how many standout players, right? If it was just all right, you know, 1 or 2 guys taking over. But no, really, when it comes to their roles, all of them are performing. Welsh Mania is really just walking people down on this Magneto. And there it is, leg day, your GOAT, Tuesday.
My GOAT with 23 final hits. Only 17k damage taken as well. Kind of wild. Just for how aggressive they're playing it. Great metallic bulwarks, honestly. Welsh Mania in conjunction with Tuesday really is what's making this work. The protection that this Star-Lord is getting, the resources that are being placed on them, including the spotlight from Zanbury, the damage boost from Closer, the right timing of the clicks from Slowpoke as well to get that triaged healing, as well as give over that soul bond to make sure that when you're taking a Galactic Legend versus Galactic Legend duel, that you aren't being instantly outclassed.
No, and again, it's like there's so many different moving parts we could highlight. Toot on the thing at the end, too. A lot of Yancey Street charges that were so well dodging out on the Eye of Agamotto's. We had the Luna as well, Fate of Both Worlds. There was one time Eye of Agamotto caught onto 3 people, Fate of Both Worlds there just in time to save them out. And you know what? We don't got to talk about it like day. We can just show show the people the stuff. Let's bring up the stuff, aka our replays.
I love stuff.